Imagine standing on the highest balcony of Ashvale Palace, looking out over a glittering city you've never been allowed to walk through without a dozen guards trailing behind you. Suddenly, the silence is broken. A cold, steel blade presses loosely against the base of your skull. For most men, this would be the terrifying end. For Prince Corwin, it is a strange new beginning. He doesn't flinch or beg the legendary, cold-blooded assassin known as the Nightwren for his life. In a voice far too calm for a man marked for death, he simply asks if she has come to admire the view or to kill him. Wren is used to targets who weep and plead, but Corwin sounds almost relieved. Caught off guard by a tiredness in his eyes that matches her own secret weariness, she hesitates. In that quiet, moonlit space, she lowers her blade half an inch, not enough to guarantee safety, but just enough to ask a question. She breaks her guild's golden rule and chooses to stay by his side, determined to uncover who bought his death. To keep her close, Corwin introduces Wren to the royal court as a foreign bodyguard. But blending into high society is its own kind of torture for a woman who has spent her life running across rooftops. At a grand state dinner, surrounded by whispering nobles and glowing chandeliers, Corwin smiles warmly and gestures to an empty seat right beside him. Wren refuses to play along. She stands rigid against the stone wall, arms crossed over her black leather armor, her sharp eyes scanning the doors and tasting the air for poison. Yet, affection begins to grow in the quietest, hidden corners of the palace. Every night after the grand dinner's end, a warm plate of food is left waiting for her in the kitchens, accompanied by a note in Corwin's elegant handwriting, in case you get hungry between rooftops. Wren strictly burns the notes, but she always eats the food. As the weeks pass, their slow-burn connection deepens into a shared, dangerous burden. Through patient digging in the dark, Wren uncovers a chilling truth. The tragic fever that swept through the palace 2 winters ago and killed Corwin's older siblings wasn't a natural sickness at all. It was a calculated murder, mixed directly into the royal family's tea. She brings the news to his private study late at night. In the soft, amber glow of a single candle, Corwin's easy, charming mask completely fades, exposing an older, more exhausted soul beneath. He admits he had always suspected a conspiracy, but saying it out loud means acknowledging that someone close to his family wanted them all dead. Seeing him carry the crushing weight of his grief entirely alone, Wren feels a fierce, unfamiliar protective instinct spark inside her chest. He isn't just a client or a contract anymore. He is someone she cannot bear to lose. The following morning, Corwin coaxes a reluctant Wren into the lower city, the crowded, loud heart of Ireland that most nobles completely ignore. Wren is on high alert, her hand never straying far from her blade as she maps out every blind spot, every alley, and every roof where an archer could hide. But what she catches him doing completely disarms her. An elderly bread seller insists on giving the prince a free loaf of bread, playfully batting his money away and telling him he looks too thin. Corwin doesn't act superior. He laughs warmly, tucks the bread into his coat like a treasure, and talks to his people as equals. Watching his genuine kindness melt the crowd, the icy walls around Wren's heart begin to fracture. She realizes Corwin isn't the pampered, fragile heir she expected. He is entirely real. The heavy, romantic tension between them takes a chaotic turn with the arrival of Princess Talia, Corwin's sharp-tongued 16-year-old sister. She missed the tragedy at the palace while away at a border outpost, and she returns home with zero filter. Talia immediately notices the magnetic, lingering looks her brother keeps giving his mysterious new guard. She corners Wren in a sunlit hallway, blocking her path with a smug, knowing grin. Talia boldly declares that bodyguards don't usually look so flustered when a prince compliments their fighting form. Wren tries to maintain her cold, professional dignity, but Talia instantly appoints herself the palace's relentless, chaotic matchmaker. Determined to test the woman keeping her brother alive, Talia demands an immediate spar. What follows is pure comedy for the court. Talia throws herself into the fight with rigid, formal noble fencing techniques. Wren doesn't even bother to draw a weapon. Moving like fluid shadow, she effortlessly steps inside Talia's guard and uses the princess's own reckless momentum to send her tumbling into the dirt 4 times in a row. Instead of being offended, Talia sits up, breathless, grinning, and completely won over. Watching from the sidelines, Corwin laughs with pure, unbridled adoration. Wren has successfully survived the most terrifying trial the palace could offer. His sister's enthusiastic approval. The hidden affection growing between them faces its ultimate test on the night of the Grand Harvest Gala. Forced to trade her dark leather armor for a custom, emerald green gown, Wren takes Corwin's breath away the moment she steps into the light. The dress is cut simply, doing nothing to hide the lean muscle of her arms or the faint lines of old scars on her collarbone. Scars she is finally learning not to hide from him. For a fleeting, romantic moment amidst the swirling music and glowing chandeliers, they stand closer than necessary, looking like a perfect match. But beneath the luxury, a killer is waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Near midnight, a servant Wren doesn't recognize approaches Corwin with a silver chalice. Her instincts scream danger. Moving like lightning, she crosses the floor and violently slaps the cup from the servant's hand just as the man tries to bolt. The wine splashes across the marble, the court gasps in horror, and the palace guards flood the room. The captured servant quickly confesses the truth. He was hired by a corrupt royal council member, a distant cousin trying to completely wipe out the Ashvale line. Throughout the entire dramatic scene, Wren stands directly in front of Corwin, her body acting as an immovable shield. She doesn't care about the scandal or the staring nobility. Her entire world has narrowed down to keeping him safe. Later that night, long after the guards have dragged the conspirators away, they find themselves back on the exact balcony where their paths first crossed. The primary threat to Corwin's life is finally gone, but the emotional gravity of the night leaves him completely exhausted. He looks at Wren in the moonlight and softly admits that somewhere between that first terrifying night and now, she stopped being his bodyguard and became something he doesn't have the right words for yet. Wren doesn't pull away or deflect this time. Instead, she lets him take her hand. She confesses that her entire life, she was taught that caring for someone is a fatal weakness that gets you killed. But looking into his eyes, she realizes that a world without him in it is the only weakness she fears. With the conspiracy broken, their relationship deepens into absolute, unshakable trust. On a quiet afternoon in the empty training yard, Wren finally lets him see the brutal, pale scars tracing across her shoulders and back, the permanent marks left by the cruel master who bought her as a child and trained her to be a weapon. She braces herself for the usual reactions: pity, disgust, or horror. But Corwin only looks at her with absolute reverence. He reaches out, his hand resting gently near her skin, and softly tells her that he doesn't see wounds. He sees the beautiful, undeniable proof of a survivor. For the first time since she was nation years old, the icy assassin completely dissolves, letting her tears fall freely within the safe sanctuary of his embrace. Of course, Princess Talia refuses to let them stay sentimental for long. At the cozy winter solstice feast, she mischievously invents a fake regional tradition, loudly telling the kitchen staff that Southern couples are publicly required to feed each other dessert. Unwilling to cause a massive scene in front of the entire assembled court, a highly flustered, softly blushing Wren is forced to sit still and accept a spoonful of spiced pudding from a thoroughly delighted, grinning Corwin. In a low, lethal whisper only he can hear, she threatens to demonstrate her deadly skills if he doesn't stop enjoying himself so visibly. Corwin just laughs, completely enchanted by her fierce, embarrassed beauty. But royal life brings subtle new challenges that blades cannot easily fix. When a foreign ambassador's daughter named Olivia arrives to smooth over a border dispute, she targets Corwin with easy smiles, sweet laughter, and playful touches on his arm. Corwin remains entirely oblivious and diplomatic, but up on the high rooftops, Wren is tracking their exact path with a flat, dangerous glare. When Corwin later catches her mood and playfully teases her about being jealous, Wren crosses her arms tightly and defensively insists She was simply monitoring a potential security threat to his forearms. Corwin's smile softens, utterly captivated by the realization that his lethal protector has a beautifully possessive side. The playful banter shatters entirely during a routine border patrol, when their party is suddenly ambushed by hostile raiders. In the middle of the chaotic skirmish, a stray arrow flies directly toward Corwin's exposed chest. Wren doesn't think, she doesn't calculate, and she doesn't care about her own survival. Moving on pure, unfiltered love, she throws her body bodily in front of his, taking the brutal force of the arrow directly into her shoulder. Corwin's entire world stops spinning. He catches her as she stumbles, a raw, piercing horror tearing through his soul as he shields her from danger, refusing to let any guard take her from his arms. Hours later, in the quiet hush of a candlelit healer's room, Corwin sits by her bedside, holding her uninjured hand so tightly his knuckles turn white. His voice cracks with a fierce, desperate emotion as he begs her never to take an arrow for him again. He admits that watching her get hurt was the single worst moment of his life, because losing her would break something inside him that no crown or kingdom could ever fix. Wren looks up at him, the very last barriers of her heart dissolving completely. She smiles softly through the pain and whispers the words she has fought against for months. "I love you." He leans down and kisses her with a gentle, fierce devotion, sealing a promise that they will face whatever comes next together. The final chapter unfolds in the Grand Royal Council chamber. Before an assembly of shocked, whispering nobles, Prince Corwin stands tall and proudly holds Wren's hand, officially announcing her to the realm as his future princess. When an old duchess, unbothered by scandal, asks if it's true the future bride once held a knife to his throat on their first meeting, Wren calmly looks her in the eye and confirms it. The duchess simply nods approvingly, remarking that it's about time an Ashvale married someone with proper survival instincts. The bards would eventually turn their romance into neat, flawless ballads sung in taverns, leaving out the bruises, the jealousy, and the messiness. But the truth remains entirely perfect. It wasn't a contract. It wasn't a debt. It was a choice made freely every single night to stay.